I call Liberal Democrat spokesperson Steve Darling.
Thank you, Deputy Madam Speaker. The fact of the matter is that the new government have inherited an economic shambles thanks to the previous government. The Office for Budget Responsibility identified an almost yawning £10 billion gap in the finances, and that cannot be disputed. I am proud that we have a cradle-to-grave welfare state, but there are a couple of areas I'm fearful that the government failed to tackle. The two-child cap, failure to tackle that will still leave 1.6 million children in need affected from that failure. So I hope the government will tackle that as a matter of urgency. In respect to the winter fuel allowance, I am still getting dozens of emails from residents who are just above the ability of being able to claim support around that area and yet are worried as the winter starts to kick in on us. So again, I hope the government will come forward with some amelioration around those to support those in most need who are our pensioners in need. One area that I would particularly like to welcome is investment in our health service. Our NHS, for us as Liberal Democrats, is a cornerstone of our society in the way of improving Great Britain, and the investment is welcome. Clearly, we wouldn't have gone about it the same way. We would have drawn money down from big banks and giant tech. And what that results in is some challenges, but I'll come on to that later. In my own constituency, Torbay Hospital remains highly challenged because we do not know where we are from the government as far as the programme for renewing hospitals. We still only have 6% of the hospital that is fit for purpose. We also have almost 700 sewage leaks within the hospital, some of them impacting on clinical areas and therefore affecting the ability to serve our community. I cannot believe the Secretary of State will allow a hospital to continue that has regular sewage leaks impacting on residents to continue in its current state, and I look forward to the confirmation of this funding for Torbay Hospital. GPs are often the area that many residents come up against when reaching out to our NHS, and yet the changes around national insurance contributions is set to hit them hard. They are small businesses and they are almost like a canary in the coal mine of what is happening to a number of our small businesses across the United Kingdom. In correspondence with them, they highlight how there could be cuts in services and their plans to grow their service to the community will be seriously affected. It was already been stated by colleagues that the elephant in the room that has failed to be addressed was social care. And I'm really concerned that the government have failed to do that to date, but we look forward to working with you because we want to work in a cross-party way to drive a proper way forward for social care. I'd also like to welcome the settlement for carers, where that's been expanded. The earnings is extremely welcome, but the cliff edge is something that needs sorting as a matter of urgency. Elsewhere in the social care sector, I've been contacted by companies such as Baycare that give domiciliary support and are really worried with the impact of NICs on their ability to support people, as well as nursing and other residential care services that are on the edge of viability and is impacted by these national insurance contributions. Over the weekend, I reached out to probably about 15 businesses across Torbay to gauge the impact of the budget on them. They were disappointed that business rates had not received the reform that we had hoped for as Liberal Democrats. It needs a root and branch reform. Tinkering with it is not the answer. businesses have seen a trebling of their utility bills. A number of them are still also have COVID debts that remain outstanding, and they're struggling with those. A manufacturer told me, and we don't have many of those in Torbay, that he's fearful that their top office elsewhere in the world will ask them to consider offshoring to Taiwan some of their manufacturing that happens in Torbay at the moment. I was particularly interested to hear from the hospitality sector, which we have a lot of in the west of England, whether it's hotels, whether it's B&Bs. They are all really worried, and they're concerned that what we will see is a significant reduction in employment. And also Paynton Zoo tells me that because of the threshold of being lowered to £5,000 for national insurance, it's hitting them hard. And I fear that these national insurance proposals will rip the heart out of the tourism industry in the west of England.
I call Harpreet Uppal for